Good afternoon. Today is the spring equinox, the beginning of the astronomical spring, and certainly we've been feeling the days getting longer. The sunrise this morning in the east of England was just before 6 o'clock, and the sun won't set in parts of Northern Ireland until nearly 6:45 this evening. But you may not get to see too many sunrises and sunsets this week because the jet stream, the winds high up in the atmosphere, is blowing strongly across the Atlantic, feeding what is essentially a conveyor belt of weather systems in our direction. It will often be cloudy and there will be quite a lot of rain. This is the rain we're expecting to accumulate through the next 5 days and over the hills of, say, Cumbria, parts of Wales, southwest England, where we could potentially see 100 millimetres of rain piling up. So pretty soggy week in prospect.
Hello there, good afternoon. It's not going to be the greatest week of weather across the capital. Very wet, very windy at times. It's looking particularly unsettled, low pressure dominant, and various weather fronts just waiting out in the Atlantic ready to sweep through. But a lot of the rain will be falling by night. And of course, we did see a very dry February, so the amount of rainfall that we'll see this week will start to address the problems caused by that. It's also very mild for the time of year, with temperatures well above the seasonal average. So far this morning it's been cloudy, it's been drizzly, as you can see from our weather watcher photos here from Belgravia and again from Kingston upon Thames, and it's more of the same this afternoon.
Hello there, good evening. It was the Equinox on Saturday and now today it's the Equinox, so we're properly into spring and we are sort of getting proper spring-like weather. We've got the jet stream pushing a little bit further south. In spite of that, it's going to be mild this week, but you notice all those low pressure systems nearby. That's where we're going to get plenty of showery weather in between what's set to be rather wet weather.
Hi Sophie. Well, today it's been pretty cloudy, pretty grey, stormy skies here in western Scotland. This was Argyll and Bute, and so far this month it's been a really wet month. If we take a look at some of the rainfall stats, well, Aldergrove is to the west of Belfast, and here we've already seen 1.5 times the monthly rainfall, and I have to say there's loads more to come.
Now, if you're afraid of heights, look away briefly now, because the London Eye has had its big spring clean. A crew of cleaners had to be suspended 135 metres high to clean the famous landmark. And as you can see, each pod has had a good old scrub.
It does feel quite mild out there. Yeah, it certainly is. Really poor visibility though for the London Eye today. So good news that wasn't anyone actually up on it. Also good news if you are one of these people like me who's just wants to see the back of winter, because it's the spring equinox tonight at 9:24 to be precise. So we'll see the northern hemisphere tilt more towards the sun. It'll be more light than night. We've just seen the sun set, of course, at 6:13. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:02, and of course some much lighter evenings from next week with a clock change through the weekend. So we turn back into British summertime, and it felt a bit like a British summertime today, didn't it? Yes, it was mild, but it was also very wet. Some soggy forsythia here in Isleworth, soggy daffodils down the road here in Teddington, and I think Barbara summed it up quite nicely the whole day, really. Lots of wet weather around, and there's yet more to come as we head through the rest of the week. So yes, it stays mild, but it's really very unsettled, so wet and windy for much of the time. The good news is that a lot of the heaviest rain is going to come overnight, and of course we do need all of that wet weather because it's been a very dry February. Celsius, and this is going to be Thursday's weather. That's going to be creeping in from the south. Fantastic weather for ducks as we head through the rest of the week. It's still wet, it's windy, it's unsettled, but it is also mild for the time of year.
Elizabeth, thank you. I like it when you said more light than night. Thank you.
May not really have felt like it much today, but it is the first day of spring. Alex is here. How can it be so when it's so horrible outside?
I know, and the forecast this week isn't looking very spring-like. But yes, the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere happens around the 20th of March each year, give or take a day, and signals the start of spring. It occurs between the winter and summer solstice, marking the point the sun crosses the equator's path and becomes positioned exactly above the equator between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and that happens at precisely 9:24 this evening. During the equinox, The day and the night will be around the same length. Now, the spring equinox marks the beginning of astronomical spring, and from this day forward, the days start to become longer than the nights as Earth's axis tilts so that the northern hemisphere starts to favour the sun's most direct rays, which means lighter evenings and warmer temperatures are on the way. However, of course, today it wasn't very spring-like. It was a little chilly out there. Take a look at these pictures. This is Lowestoft Ness. This is our most easterly point in the British Isles and the first place to see the sunset. Well, no sign of a sunset there this morning, as you can see from these pictures. But hey, let's bring you a little bit of a spring colour. These are the daffodils currently in Vassals Park in Bristol at the weekend, which were enjoying some much loved sunshine. As we head through the next few days, I don't think we're going to see too much sunshine. We're going to see a little bit more in the way of rain, but we do need rain to top up those river levels at the moment. OK, so let's take a look at how this week is going to pan out, and unsettled really is the word. It's going to be raining fairly often with the winds picking up towards midweek, with a top temperature of 16 degrees Celsius. But as for Thursday and Friday, as you can see, it goes back downhill with frequent showers in the forecast. So not a great deal of spring-like sunshine, some rain, but we do need it at the moment.
OK, Alex, thank you.